Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Another edition of the Music is My Business podcast, live Q&A. I'm about to answer some questions on sync, man. Help you guys learn how to make money with your music by getting it placed in TV and film. And I'm excited about it. Let me know who we got in the stream, man. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. I'm excited to be back. This week has been crazy. I'll get into how my week started shortly here. But let me see what we got in the building, man. Shout out to the Sync Producer Hub members in the member-only chat. I see you guys. We got Antonio Eads. We got Chewy. Shout out to Chewy. Chewy's a new Sync Producer Hub member. I think he got in this week. Shout out to Chewy. We got James McGregor in the building. We got Jared. We got Music Maker. What's up, Music Maker? Patrick, Ray, Stanley, Eaton. Shout out to the new members. Love to see it. Love to see the community growing. We got B-Rad Tunes and stuff from Sacramento, California. Ray is from Claremont. Kim Durr has entered the building. What's up, Kim? The fam is good. Hope all is well with you and your family as well. Thank you for the blessings. We got Aaron in the building. Memphis hanging out. Florida is where Ray is from. Hailing from Florida. Garvey Maynard. What's up, Garvey? We got Terry in the building. Patrick's from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Love to see it. Who else we got in the building? Let me know where you guys are from. And hit me with your questions. Sync Producer Hub members, if you guys have questions at any point, you can raise your hand on the Zoom, and I can bring you up on audio or video, or you can just type it in the chat. Completely up to you. She got she will for Will, that a platinum plaque back there. So for what song? So there's a couple plaques. You got one Billboard, it was from an album, Tamar Braxton album. Then we got that one is actually a custom plaque specifically made for my TV placement mastery students. So if they put in that work within a year of finishing up TV placement mastery, we have a few different plaques that they could get depending on where they're at within that year. First TV placement plaque, a 10x TV placement plaque, and a 100x TV placement plaque. So at the end of coaching, if they land their first TV placement or 10 TV placements or at least 100, so like 10 or more or 100 or more, you get a plaque. That's how we get down over here. So shout out to my TV placement mastery students. If you want, in fact, we're about to do another group soon. However, there will only be 8 slots available. If you want to apply, go to tvplacementmastery.com and apply. The link, I think the link is in the description. Don't quote me on it. Here, I'll drop a link here. If you want to apply, it's invite only. You have to apply, and then the team will get back with you if we think it'll be a good fit. There's the link. I dropped it in the chat so you can have it. Let's see. We got Chewy's from PG County, Maryland. Let me see. Kim says, wow, your plant is pushing out more leaves. It's getting so big. Shout out to my plant. My plant is growing exponentially every year. You notice it stays green all the time. This plant, I'm telling you, is full of life. It's full of life. So my week was interesting. Let me turn this down. For whatever reason, I feel like the music is like blast. Oh, that's why. All right, so let's talk about the start of my week. I was getting in the zone, getting in the mode, ready to create, juggling a few projects at this point in time. And I was just like, man, you know what? I think I might do a lot of creation on my iPad, because I was about to work on some ambient, like some tension ambient cues for MTV's Catfish. I was just like, man, I need to knock out some more tracks for that show, because I've been happy with the results I've been seeing from placements on that show. So I'm like, cool. Like, I'm gonna probably set up a little mobile setup upstairs somewhere in the crib and just chill out, hang out with the kids, and just create some ambient tension tracks or whatever. So I'm excited. I'm about to go down to the studio, grab what I need to get, and get set up. And then I get an email. So I look at the email, and it's a publisher reaching out, like, hey, you know, just checking in, seeing if you still wanted to contribute some tracks to this album. The deadline was, you know, at the time it was like 4 days ago. So I was just like, oh snap, like I completely forgot. Like, I didn't forget about the project, but I completely forgot the date. Like, I wasn't even thinking about it. In my mind, I just had that conversation with him like maybe a week or so ago. And in my mind, I'm like, I know it's on my to-do list. And I also had plans to do a special session inside of Sync Producer Hub and show the community, because I think it was Miguel had asked like how I approach like dramedy cues and things like that. And this particular project, I think it was like some dramedy stuff. So I was going to kind of go behind the scenes and kind of, you know, let you guys pick my brain and see how I, you know, approach stuff like that. But seeing as though I was like 4 days behind, I was just like, yeah, I have to like rush and knock this stuff out. So this is what I had to do. Luckily, I was already going through some stuff, and I had a couple ideas that they were just ideas. They weren't finished. And like one of them was just for a completely different project that just never was completed. And then the other one was just like the start of something that I just never used. So I had like two ideas that all I had to do is really go in and just lay like some melodies and stuff and some chords and then structure it out. The drums and everything was already laid. So I stripped those down, took the drums out. Not the drums. I took the sounds and the melodies and stuff out and just rebuilt all of that on top of the drums that I already had. So pretty much that night, I knocked out like 3 tracks in one night, and it sent them off because I was just like, man, like I completely dropped the ball on that. I was just like, yo, I apologize. I completely forgot. Here's 3 tracks though. Here's the 3 that I told you I would do. So I knocked out the 2. I was in like hyper focus mode, knocked out the 2, and then the third one. What did I do with the third one? I ended up finding another session. It was a track that was pretty much structured out, but for whatever reason, like I could not get with the track. Like I was just like, I don't even like it for real. Like I don't even know. I don't even want to send it to be written to. Let's just like scrap it. But I never get rid of stuff. I always keep it for times like this because it always comes in handy. So I stripped everything from that. Used the drums that I had, and yeah, just made it work. So that's how I was able to knock out like 3 tracks super duper quick and make that project. But it was crazy. So that was the start of my week. So hopefully next week I'll be able to start on some ambient tension stuff. And yeah, that was that. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. For the new people joining, let me know where you guys are from and what you do. But it was exciting. But I'm glad I got those in because that should be a pretty cool project. I'm just waiting to get the feedback from them, and then we'll kind of go forward from there. B-Rat says, if I'm reaching out to multiple libraries all at one time, should the tracks and links to them be different for each library in case I get lucky and more than one likes a track? So it's up to you how you want to approach it. Me personally, I send the same playlist because I send the same playlist to all of the companies like at once. And the reason why I do that is because, and I teach other producers how to do that inside of TV Placement Mastery, because you will pretty much enter or risk entering analysis paralysis, because now you're like, yo, I have all these companies to submit to. And any mastery students will let you know, like, minimum we're reaching out to like 3 to 5 companies every day. Once we enter the pitch phase, 3 to 5 companies every day. So imagine you're doing that for like a month, right? And now you're like, yo, I got to create all these different tracks on top of reaching out to 3 to 5 companies every day. So that can be overwhelming and probably almost impossible, like just trying to juggle a schedule and knock out that many tracks. So we build a focused playlist, and I coach them through that, how to make sure everything is right, how to prepare it, how to present it, all of that stuff. And then we just use that one playlist to to pitch. And then what happens is, yes, you will have multiple publishers hit you back based off of that one playlist, but it's not a bad thing, right? They like your music. They know you can produce great music. So now what happens is it's first come, first serve. So if you get one publisher wants to sign the tracks, then you can have them. What is that? Did Zoom just... Oh, that's somebody else. Never mind. I was like, Zoom just got fancy on me in the Sync Producer Hub joint. It was looking like you can draw illustrations and everything. Anyways, if they hit you back, then boom, like you can have them sign those tracks. And then if those tracks are not available anymore, you can just swap the tracks out. Or if someone hits you back and they're like, hey, we want to use these tracks, and they're already signed, just let them know. Be transparent. Yo, another publisher signed these tracks. I can make more just like it. The door is open though. They know you can produce. They liked your stuff. You know, they'll wait until you get them some more tracks. So yeah, that's it. that's how I approach it. Texas in the building. What's up, Madri or Modri? What's up, music maker? Should the tracks I submit be mastered on my own prior to my submission, or are my tracks be mastered post agreement? I would recommend mastering them before you submit. So by the time you're actually submitting, everything is mixed, mastered, ready to go. There are some publishers who they have in-house mixing and mastering, mostly mastering, but some mix and master. But I always say, put your best foot forward, because like, I don't care what anybody says, man. Like, somebody could be like, you know, don't focus too much on the mix. We have like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Put your best foot forward. Send the mix and master stuff so they can hear, the final product, like how you want it to be heard. That way, you know, I sent them my best work. And if they say no for whatever reason, or they don't like the mix, or they don't like the master, or whatever, then you know, okay, we can make whatever adjustments we need to make from there. So yeah, master it and then send it, because that could also be the difference between them picking a track over between you and somebody else too. Squirrel, what? Oh, the way I looked at the screen. Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was doing, I think it was just somebody else's screen. Sharing screen though. Madri, okay, dope. My mastering is with Dave. Okay, dope. So yeah. Yeah, if you got a solid master, mix and master on that, you'll be good. You'll be good to go for sure. For the Sync Producer Hub members, man, if you guys want to be brought up in audio or video, just raise your hand and then I'll know. And then we can add you, or you can just type your questions in the chat. Dope stuff. She Will for Will says, how do you select artists to work with, or do you only do instrumental cues? So here are things I look for when selecting artists to work with, specifically for Sync. I'm looking for, I really, honestly, to be honest with you, most of the stuff I've done, full song stuff, has been with songwriters, sort of artists. Like, they're not like they're cool if they don't have like an artist career, but they're really great songwriters, and they sound, honestly, they sound better than some of the people trying to be artists out here. I'm gonna be 100 with you, but they're just phenomenal songwriters, and they can also sing and rap. That's primarily who I end up working with. There'll be an occasional artist, but they just have to understand sync. But things I'm looking for: do they sound good? Number one, can they write, obviously good stuff? Can they record themselves? That's crucial, because things move fast in this space, and don't have a lot of time unless somebody just has access to a studio where they can just hop in whenever they want. We don't really have time for like people to hunt around and book studio time and get that from the engineer and all of that stuff. So if they can record themselves, most of the writers I work with, they record and they mix their own vocals, which makes it super duper easy, because now all I have to do is like drag their stuff in and put the final mix on everything between the instrumental and their vocals, and we're good to go. We send it off. That's it. And then the rest of it is just depending on what's needed. You know what I mean? Do I need somebody who can sing R&B stuff? Do I need somebody who can sing some rock stuff? Do I need somebody who can rap? You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what's needed at the time. So yeah. Somebody says, Garvey says, I realize you are with CSAC. Established sync producers usually like to switch from ASCAP to BMI. Guessing BMI will pay more with less transparency. What's your ideas on full-time goals? I don't know. I've heard that sometimes the BMI could pay more with sync stuff. I haven't had a chance to like really do a 50-50 comparison yet. I know I have some co-writes on some stuff, but I just haven't taken the time to like really dig into it and like see, okay, how does it match up? So I'm not sure. I don't know. I know a lot of composers, like, they switch for like different reasons. So I'm not sure. But as far as like full-time goes, my ideas, it's different. It's just different for everybody. Like, if you're like a single dude and you have like no kids, no one to be responsible for, then your full-time number, like whatever that number is to go full-time with music, could be different. It could be a lot lower. And then versus somebody with a full family who needs like benefits and stuff like that, that number will probably have to be higher. So that's more so, but a personal thing. It's going to vary across every individual, I think. But I think it's good to at least know what that number is for you. James McGregor says, three different libraries hit me up for what seems to be the same brief, except one library is stating work for hire buyout, no back end royalties. I've submitted to the other two, but not sure about submitting to the other one. What are your thoughts? Man, no back end royalties. I don't know. That would have to be for me not to participate in any royalties. It would have to be a significant work for hire buyout, because I like royalties. Like, I like the idea of doing something one time and getting paid for it for a very long time. That just excites me. So I probably would have did the same thing you did, went with the ones that have back end. And like, sometimes depending on what the buyout is, sometimes I'm just like, yo, I'm cool with not getting anything up front. Like, I don't need money. I don't need money right now. So let's do that. If I need some money, like, yo, I could use some money up front, then, you know, you can go for it. But I like to at least keep some royalties flowing in, especially if you know they're gonna get some placements. The buyout is 2K. I don't know. That's yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they would negotiate, like, yo, can I take like a lower buyout fee and dip into some royalties? Give me 100% writer share. Let's cut this 2K down. I'll take less in exchange for some royalties. Because depending on what those placements are, you know, you can hit 2K in royalties pretty quick. You know, you can hit 2K in royalties pretty quick. I mean, on one show, Kardashians. I mean, I've got multiple placements on the Kardashians. Yeah, I surpassed 2K from like one track on the Kardashians a while ago. So, just depends if they're willing to budge on that. I'm a rapper who records myself and would love to work with you. Is there a best way to reach out? I can send samples of my work to prove I'm not trash. I appreciate your willingness to prove you are not trash. That goes a long way, to be honest with you. I'm not currently looking for any additional collaborators at the moment, but I appreciate the offer. Corey says, what would be a reasonable buyout number? Just for perspective, wouldn't want to sell myself short. It depends, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're talking, it just depends, man. If we're just talking, because you don't know where it's going to end up, and you know, I mean, you see buyouts for like brands and car commercials, you know, 6 figures, right? On the flip side, you'll see some buyouts just for like some production music, anywhere from which those can kind of look different, but I'll say anywhere from a few hundred up. But now sometimes they'll say buyout, and the buyout isn't necessarily like a full complete buyout. Sometimes if a publisher is saying buyout, it could just be a buyout from future upfront sync fees, but you still retain royalties. Or it could just be a complete buyout where they're just like, yep, fam, this is all you're gonna see forever. No royalties, no sync fees, that's it. So, you know, I know people who what's that company name? They do all the YouTube music and all that stuff. I think they have like a buyout model where it's just like, yo, you getting paid this one time, that's it. Can't be registered with a PRO. You know, it doesn't work for me, but it just depends, I guess, on what you're okay with. Like, I don't know, like, I see the value in intellectual property, so it's just hard for me to just buy out everything. Like, here, just take it, because I think the whole power within sync licensing is being able to retain royalties or continue to earn royalties over time from something you had to do one time. Because if your whole career is just based and built off of 100% buyouts all the time, like, you're working like this is gonna be active income forever. As soon as you stop, the money stops. You know what I mean? So I want to build a catalog of intellectual property that will continue to earn, you know, well into my prime years. So if my fingers start cramping up, I can't play keys. Yo, I did a lot of work over the past however many years. These hands stop working. That work that I did years ago is still working for me now. You see what I mean? So that's how I look at it. Thanks, my guy, for what you do here. My sync music products will be ready Wednesday this coming week. 10 tracks. What's the best way to get my music products or to people, music supervisors, directors to hear my tracks? Music Maker, you're in a Sync Producer Hub. Have you gone through the road to 10 placements yet? You got your 10 tracks. How to pitch should be in there as well. And then depending on which level you're on in Sync Producer Hub community, there'll be some other pitch tactics that are unlocked. But all of that will definitely be in there. And it'll walk you through all the steps you need to take. So yeah, I'm excited for you, man. Definitely keep us posted in the community and let us know when you have questions, you get stuck. Sync Producer Hub is one of the dopest, if not the dopest communities, on the planet, man. Like, everybody in there helping each other is phenomenal. And that was like, I remember like when I first launched the Road to 10 Placements course, it's helped producers all over the world get TV placements and things like that. But over the years, like, I just felt like there was always something missing, because while I can't help everyone personally, like one-on-one, I would love to, but then I would never get my own personal projects done, and I'll just be on Zoom calls all day. But the thing that was missing was everyone's journey is different when trying to get their music placed in TV and film, right? So you may get stuck at a different place than somebody else that is on the same journey, following the exact same steps that I outlined in the Road to 10 Placements course that you guys have in the community, right? So like, everybody gets stuck at different places, and you have questions, and you need those questions answered to get unstuck. So it was like the community aspect that I feel like really bridged the gap to help producers supercharge their results and get unstuck, man. So I appreciate you all for being in the community and contributing and giving value inside Sync Producer Hub. So love to see it. Any other questions, drop them in the chat. Happy to answer. Happy to answer. One thing that I noticed this week, actually it was like last week, but I'm just now having time to really talk about it. I noticed that Akai and Native Instruments did this union thing and like joined forces with the NPCs and it blew my mind, low key. I was just like, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then I started thinking, wait a minute though. What does this mean for Native Instruments hardware? Because think about it, like in my mind, so you have the MPC keys, right? With, you know, they got the different versions with the MPC and the keyboard. And I'm like, yo, this would have been the next step for Native Instruments to create like an all-in-one, because, you know, they have the Machina and the complete control, create some type of all-in-one unit. But I guess Akai like already has his all-in-one unit, and, you know, most people, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it depends. But from what I've experienced, the pads on the MPC are superior to the pads on Native Instruments drum machine, in my opinion. I don't know. I just feel like they just got more meat to the pad. I don't know, but I don't know. Comment in the chat if you disagree. So I'm like, Akai kind of already has that. I haven't played on the keys to see how they feel on the latest Akai MPC keys thing, but I have used an older one back in the day. I didn't like the way that thing felt. It was stiff, but it was like an 88 key thing. And I don't know. I feel like it's easy to mess up some 88 keys, man. But I was just like, man, that would have been a dope piece of hardware for Native Instruments to introduce. But now that they kind of did this partnership, is it even necessary? Would it even make sense for them to do that? So I don't know. I was just like, man, did they kind of back themselves into a corner, or I don't know. Will they just keep their hardware's drum machine and keys separate? So that was interesting. So yeah. Terrence Powell says, excuse me, love this community I'm in, lots of support and advice. I finally got the nerve to submit to 2 libraries, and since then I've been checking my email for a response. How long should I wait to hit them up for an update, or should I just keep it moving? Keep it moving, submit and forget, Terrence. But I'll say mark your calendar for maybe a month, maybe circle back around. But yeah, just keep it moving, keep submitting, and keep creating and submitting and forgetting. That's the formula. Create, submit, forget. Ray says, recently you mentioned renaming a track with a library due to a PRO issue. Say an artist rearranges one of their songs for sync with an exclusive library. Would it be acceptable to give it a new name? Could the artist then still use the original version, or would that be a conflict? In general, does renaming tracks happen often? So artist rearranges one of their songs. Could the artist then still use the original version? You know what? That's a good question, because technically that creates a new master recording. I think the best way to approach it would be to ask the publisher that you're pitching it to. In my eyes, it's creating a new master, and usually that licensing deal is connected to that master recording. And then, yeah, if you guys still own it, the composition of it, the lyrics and all that stuff, I don't think it would be an issue. But I would definitely confirm with the publisher. It's a good question. Renaming tracks does happen often. Just because, especially with, instrumentals, I think I've seen it most. Songs, not as much. A renaming for a song could happen if it was just like a publisher putting their prefix or suffix on a title. That's usually the extent it will go. Sometimes instrumentals, they'll just retitle it because there's no real attachment to like any lyrics or anything. So if there's like something in their catalog with that exact same name, they'll just rename it. So yeah. No doubt. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious to see what Native Instrument does with their hardware over the next few years. I know they kind of released the update with the new keyboard, complete control, and all that stuff. Nice screen. Usman says, I've been producing for 6 years and life gives me hurdle after hurdle, but I keep working on my craft. Sometimes I feel so hopeless, though I love making music. I feel you, man. Life will always life. And yeah, man, it gets overwhelming sometimes. But I will say, if you love it, you keep working at it, and you'll find a way to weave that in and make it happen. Because the reality is, life happens to everybody, man. The only difference between those who see progress and, you know, success in this space, they just didn't stop. You know what I mean? Times got hard. They went through challenges, hurdles they had to jump over, but they just kept jumping over those joints, knocking them down. Like, you just running through the hurdles sometimes. You ain't even got enough energy to jump. But if you keep going, you eventually will get where you're trying to go. You just can't stop. That's really the only way to lose, is just quitting, stopping. Don't stop. You're still in the race. So keep going, man. B-Rat says, I'm noticing on some library submission pages it mentions no loop sounds from plugins without significant alteration. It mentions Splice specifically. Could you translate this? Yes, I will translate it for you. Don't use Splice. Don't use samples. Don't use loops. That's what they're saying. No, so, oh man, that's the easy answer. Just don't use them. When they say significant alteration, they want you to like mangle the mess out of that stuff so that it does not sound like you just downloaded it and used it exactly as is from the source. But there's still like tricky caveats, and it depends on the libraries. Some libraries, like, they're cool if you use some. They want you to like have documentation that is cleared. I've used some very, very sparingly for like vocal stuff. They were just like, you know, you can use some royalty-free vocal chops or whatever. And, you know, just show us you have the rights to use it. So I did that, but I still kind of, you know, had to tweak it and chop it and do all these things. But for the most part, man, I just like to stay away from it because it just creates confusion and headaches. And it confuses everybody. Like, I get this question at least like 3.7 times every week about samples, man, and sync specifically. So, yep, using AI it's been the same scenario. I had Dave from 52Qs on the podcast. We talked about that in depth some months back. And yeah, like, there was some AI joint that he had used in a track and thought it was just like, you know, something that it actually generated from scratch, but other people apparently generated the same thing, and it started triggering things on YouTube Content ID. And it was even pointing to like other tracks with other publishers and libraries and stuff. And it just creates a mess. So yeah. Native Instruments has crazy guitar riffs from one keyboard note push. Oh yeah. I agree. Some crazy instruments. That Glaze, I was playing around in Glaze the other day. The vocal riffs in Glaze. I heard it was actually Tone, and like a couple other like fire vocalists in there, just running. Like, you hit one note, and the dope thing about Glaze is like you could like hit a chord, and then one of the notes is like doing the run, and then you can like create these different layers. It's crazy. It's insane. G5, I think so. Like, cause that's kind of like the way, cause it's like you're creating your own chords and stuff with those riffs, and the riffs are just kind of playing. So I think so. I wouldn't just like single it out and just like only let the riff play. I would make sure it's like layered when you create your stems and things like that, as like, you know, I don't know, like say you have like pads under it or whatever, and just have that be like your pads. And I think you would be cool with that. But yeah, it's got some crazy stuff. I just used, in fact, I used, what was I working on? I used Glaze. I didn't use the riff, the vocal riff part, but it was like some oohs or ahs or something in there. I used that in the track recently. So yeah, should be cool. It should be cool. By the way, G5 next Tuesday, we're gonna break into some 808 secrets in the Sync Producer Hub. So we'll meet in the community and go through some stuff I'll be doing the 808s. So it should be fun. Hopefully I was on a call with TV Placement Mastery students last night, and my screen share was spazzing, bro. Like, I would share the screen, and they was just like, yo, it's mad distorted. And so hopefully it's fixed I'm going to look into it and see if it's fixed by Tuesday. Otherwise, y'all ain't going to even be able to see. So then I had to like switch, and then I tried to do something else, and then the screen was clear, but then my audio went out, and they couldn't hear what I was saying. So we were just stuck. It was crazy. Would the hits and quick sounds fall into the loop restriction? Mic and trailer packet we purchased. Oh no, like hits, one shots, no, that wouldn't fall under the loop restriction. That's fine. So like your snares, your hits, risers, sound effects, usually you're cool with that stuff. You don't have to worry about it. Good question. For the new people in the stream, let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. If you have a question, drop it. We're talking about how to get your music placed in TV and film and how to produce it. I got time for a few more questions, so go ahead, drop them in the chat. Sync Producer Hub members, if you guys have a question, you can raise your hand. I'll bring you up on audio or video, or you can drop your question in the chat as well. So yeah, this year is flying though. It's February already. I already missed my first deadline in sync, so we're off to a great start. If you wanted to start producing in a different genre than what you normally do, how would you go about studying it? Oh, turn the TV on. I would do two things. If I wanted to start producing in a different genre other than what I do, the first thing I would do is turn on the TV, start watching a show or a movie or whatever, commercials, and see if there's another style of music that I hear a lot of that I could also produce. Because now I know, there's a demand for another style of music I wouldn't mind making. Because the market determines what's in demand. Second thing I would do, I would log into, not log in, you don't really have to log in, but I would go to tunefind.com. I'll type that in the chat. tunefind.com and go through the music on there. And again, make a note of what I'm hearing the most, what styles of music I'm hearing the most. And then go from there. And then I'll pick a style of music that I wouldn't mind doing a lot of. And then, boom. Go from there. In fact, that's what I had to do when I first got started in this space. I had to pivot, man, because I was really, really heavy on, I love neo soul stuff. Slow R&B ballad stuff. Still do. Jazz, but just didn't get used a lot. So I was just like, okay, I have to make a decision. I can either, continue to do what I like to do all the time and, be happy and warm and fuzzy inside. Or if I want to get paid from this, I can pivot and figure out what else works. What else can I produce that works for TV and film? And then as soon as I made that shift, I started to see progress. And then I can still do my, R&B ballads and stuff like that, and, still be happy inside. But I just know if I want to get paid, I'm going to do these styles of music. And then if I just want to be creative or produce for artists or something like that, then I can still do that stuff on the side. You can do both. But yeah, I started putting more focus on what works. So DQ Davis says, what's up, everyone? My name is DQ from New York. I've been producing since 2007, and I've been interested in getting into sync. Where can I send my music? DQ, download this free guide. It'll break it down for you. The link is in the description. I don't even know why I'm typing it out as if the link isn't in the description. Hit the link in the description. Download the free guide. It'll walk you through the steps to get started and everything I did to start getting my music pitched. I was unintentionally up until about 3:30 a.m. last night working on a brief for a music library in a style of music that was new to me. I'm tired, but I got it done. Shout out to G5. That's grind right there. I love it. Yeah, man, that happens too sometimes. It was like an auto brief, and it was a style of music I just don't do all the time. It was very, very electronic and like real heavy on just like, I don't know, like stuff. Like it was, I don't know, it was different than what I usually do. It definitely took me longer to knock out, but I don't know. It was fun, man. It's fun to kind of to challenge yourself sometimes and do something, do something different. Yeah, no doubt, man. Hope it helps, DQ. So for those who are in the stream, make sure you guys stick around too, because soon we're gonna do live music reviews and listen to music to see if it's ready for sync. How do you manage your time between making music, researching libraries, submitting, and life? So this is kind of how it was for me. So in the beginning stages, there's a lot of time spent on preparation and presentation, basically. So that's getting your tracks together, learning about the metadata stuff, making sure all like the business things are tight, are wrapped up tight, and then the pitching. So when you're preparing and pitching, that's when you're going to spend a lot of the focus and energy on that, because if you don't have a publishing deal yet, creating a bunch of music honestly is like counterproductive. Like, I mean, yeah, it's fun, make some music, but if you ain't got nowhere to send it and nobody to publish it, I mean, what are we doing, right? So we got to get to the next phase. So a lot of your time and energy and focus, if you're getting started, should be spent on preparing and pitching your music. And then what happens is you start to get publishing deals, sync publishing deals specifically, and now they're starting to ask you for music. So now you're getting multiple briefs from multiple publishers. That's when now your time is going to shift and be more spent on production, because now you have the publishing deals in place, but you can't do nothing with that if you ain't got the music for them to publish. So now you kind of get into like just heavy production, like, yo, let's knock out as many tracks as we can and start loading these publishers up so they can start publishing this music. So that's kind of how I kind of focus, and then it shifts now. So I'm not pitching or researching libraries as much. Now it's more so just feeding the relationships that I've built over the years. Occasionally, I may come across another publisher, or, they may reach out, and then, we do some music. But now it's more so just on just producing music and helping other producers get to that point. And then submitting, I still try and create and submit something on a, I say weekly, bi-weekly basis, because we gotta feed that catalog that's gonna pay our future selves years down the line. And then life, you know, we just kind of have our schedules. These schedules change often with our family. So, you know, we have our schedules, and we just kind of lock in. If adjustments need to be made, we make those adjustments, and then go from there. And then I use my Sync Producer time management guide. That is a huge help. If you struggle with time management, I created this Notion template specifically for us to manage time. I'll drop the link in the chat, because time management is going to be crucial, but you can't even manage your time if you don't know what you're spending your time doing right now. And I really had to get a grasp on that, especially when I was getting started in Sync, because I still had a full-time job, you know, still had a wife, still had life. So I had to figure out how to manage that. And what this guide will do is walk you through how to manage your time. And then from there, I use my Sync Producer weekly planner Notion template as well. So I'm going to link you all to that so you can check those out. And then Notion, if you don't know what Notion is, it's a free app. You can download the app, and then once you get these templates, you can just import these templates into your Notion account, and then you can kind of customize them and use them however they work for you. So that's available at clintproductions.com/shop. Let me see. I think I got time for one more question. Obi Liz, what's up? Clint, thanks for everything you do. What's the minimum maximum number of tracks we should include on albums we pitch to libraries? Somebody was just talking about this in in the hub. I think the sweet spot is like 3 to 5. If you're trying to get your foot in the door, like 3 to 5 tracks gets the job done. I usually go with 5 for an initial like playlist. That gives them an idea of like just what you can do. And then it's not super overwhelming as well. So like, don't send like 20 tracks. Don't send like your life catalog like some people try to do. Man, I get emails. I wish y'all could see some of the emails I get. It's insane. I'm not even a publisher, and I get like people submit me stuff. It's weird, but I mean, people will just drop like 17 MP3s and like a Google Drive of a lifetime of work. And I'm like, who has the time to go through all of this music? After like 2 tracks, I'm tapping out. Like I can't sit here and listen to all this. So that's how I like to think when I approach companies. Like, realistically, will they have time to sit and listen to you know, a boatload of tracks? Or, you know, is this something that they can easily digest real quick? Boom, 3-5 tracks. They'll get an idea if I can produce music at a high quality level. If they like what they hear, they'll reach out. If they like what they hear, they're going to reach back out to you. They're going to ask for more, or they're going to, you know, hit you with something that they need, and then you go from there. But that initial pitch is just to get your foot in the door and, you know, start the conversation. And then you go from there. So hopefully that helps. This is hilarious right here. I love your music. It reminds me of my breath after a sardines feed. That's beautiful. That is poetry. All right, y'all. We are about to transition into the live music reviews. If you're on the YouTube channel, stick around, because we're going to see if the Sync Producer Hub producers music is ready for TV and film. The link is in the description for all the things I was blabbing about earlier. Just hit that link and you'll get access to the things you need to help you on your sync journey. And that's it, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.